Hey, welcome to my journey and to another mini plan. Nope. I think I did the same thing last week. It's meal prep. It is meal prep. And it's another quick one that doesn't take up your whole day. It doesn't even take up your whole morning. It's 15 till 9. I started at 7. It was 6:58 when I looked at the clock. The only thing I did before I turned the camera on was hit the preheat mode on my stove. I just hit that so it would start, and then I started getting my stuff together. That's when I started counting, was 6:58, so 7 o'clock. It is now 15 till 9, but I've been through for 20 minutes. I've already had time to eat my breakfast, enter a recipe into the app to get the macros on it, because I just decided last night I was going to make it today. So it was added on. I would not be sitting here still waiting right now, but the chili I'm making has to cook an hour. Otherwise, we'd have been through. The dishes are washed. The dishwasher's loaded. The only thing that I'll have to wash will be the pot that the chili's in. I've already got the breakfast portioned out. Like I said, I ate mine. I've got my muffins, my little mutton loaves, protein banana breads. Anyway, we'll talk about it. My point is, what I tell you, try every week to let you know it doesn't have to be a big ordeal, big production, to get yourself set up for success during the week. Any little thing you can do. And this is not even a little thing. This is a breakfast, a lunch, and a snack. So, and I don't even count sitting around waiting cooking time, because that's not cooking time. I had time to watch some TV, eat my breakfast, work on a recipe. So, yeah. Anyway, what we're having this week for breakfast is a bacon cheddar quiche. What's different about this? It's made in the microwave. I have never made one in a microwave, and I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but I'm like, hey, I'm willing to give it a try. Something different, because, it's kind of hard to come up with something different that's low carb and high protein. It's just something different. So anyway, I can tell you right now, it was a success. It's delicious. Yes, I loved it. It's going to be wonderful this week. Then for lunch is something I've made before, no bean chili. I could put the beans in it if I wanted to, but I did not feel like spending the carbs, even if they're good beans, because sometimes at night we're going to have beans. And then I didn't want beans, not at this point, not this week. Maybe next week I would change, but this week I didn't want beans. So that's what's over there cooking now. And it's very simple to make. And then the snack that I added on is because I had a couple of bananas going bad. Now I knew I needed to make some kind of banana bread or muffin or cake or something. And so I knew that I needed to make it high protein, because if I eat something like that, I like to make up for it by making it high protein. So I went on search and found a recipe. Now I told you, I've tasted it and it's good. The texture is crazy. I think I already said it in the video. It's crazy the texture that protein powder will actually give a baked good. It gives it a texture like flour, and this has almond flour in it, and you know the texture of that. But I said the only thing because I've tasted it, the only thing I would change was I would add more sweetener. But I went back, I had cut a little slice off of it and left it laying there, and when I was wrapping the other ones up, I went ahead and popped that one in my mouth, because that one, the half one I'm eating is for today, so however I eat it today, I'm counting it, Anyway, it's a little dry. Now that it has sit there, had it cut, it's a little dry, so I would also add some applesauce. I don't know if I would go a full cup. It's not a cup measure-wise. I'm talking about the little single serving sizes. I think that's a half a cup. I don't know that I would go the full half a cup, because it might make it too moist. But I would go at least a quarter of a cup of applesauce, or a tablespoon or two of oil, like maybe melted coconut oil, something like that, to give it a little bit of moisture that it seems to be lacking. But the flavor is really good. It does not taste like a protein. What I did differently was I made it in a different pan. It is for a muffin, and I made it in my mini loaf pan. So pan with the little loaves in it, you'll see. So that's what I did. So I thought, well, while the chili's finishing up, I got about 5 more minutes. I'll come on here and go ahead and record this part, and then that way when I get my chili dished up, I can go on back there and start editing. And look, right there is my timer. So my chili is done. It is 10 till 9. All I have to do is scoop it into my meal prep containers and film my little outro. And my meal prep day is done. So 2 hours. 2 hours for a week's worth of lunch. I'm coming. Breakfast, lunch, and snack. So let me stop talking, tell her to hush, and we'll go get started cooking. I thought to start the day we would make these muffins. These are banana protein muffins. I have 2 bananas in here, overripe. That's what you want, and we just want to mash them. But I thought when I saw these bananas, I needed to make some kind of muffin or something. And if I'm going to eat something like that, I want to make it worth my while protein-wise. So I went on the hunt for a protein banana muffin. And this is what I found. And I'm making it basically pretty much, with the exception of one thing, like it says. But one ingredient, and then the pan I'm making it in. I'm making it, I'll show you in a minute. Let me finish mashing this banana. Okay, then we want 3/4 of a cup of a creamy nut butter. Almond, cashew, peanut butter. No sugar added. You don't want the sweetened kind. You want the kind that don't taste good on a sandwich. Well, okay. I'm going to try to mix this together a little bit before I add the eggs, because that peanut butter can get kind of thick, and then my eggs might be splashing around. Okay, now we need 3 eggs. Okay, then the last wet ingredient we need is a teaspoon of vanilla. The recipe calls for coconut sugar. I don't have that, and I wouldn't use it, so I wasn't going to buy it special. Besides, I want mine sugar-free, because that's what I'm supposed to be eating. So I'm using a 1/4 cup of Trivia Sweet Complete. You use a 1/4 cup of your favorite granulated sugar or sugar sweetener substitute. It's whatever you want to call it. And then this is 1/2 cup of vanilla protein powder. And this is the one I use, the Quest Vanilla Milkshake. I like it. If you got to have protein powder, I like it. And then 3/4 cup of almond flour. And a teaspoon, I meant to do this first, so I wouldn't have to use a separate teaspoon, but anyway, a teaspoon of baking soda, not powder, soda. And I'm going to stir this around really good. Okay, I think we got that. And then we need a 1/2 cup, which this looks like a big 1/2 cup, but I'm using my 1/2 cup Pioneer Woman sugar-free chocolate chips. Now let me slide some of this stuff out of the way. Hold on just a second. Okay, so the change I'm making in the pan is I'm going to use my little mini muffin pan. I don't know the capacity of these little cups. I haven't looked on the bottom to see if it says. But this is a 12 muffin recipe. So we're going to see how that translates into these little mini loaves. And I'm going to put 2 scoops And this is the Pampered Chef. I think it's the medium cookie scoop. I don't even know how big it is. It seems like I've checked it at one point, but I can't remember. But let me see if the recipe says how full we want these. Almost to the top. So whatever scoop or measuring utensil you use, it says almost to the top. Now that's for the muffins. This is an experiment. I just hope it works. I hope they get done. Okay, so I had just this little bit. Let's see, that one looks like maybe you could use it. Left over. So I got 7 little mini loaves. Now I'm going to put this in the oven at 350. Muffins were to bake at 13 to 14 minutes. So this was going to take at least that much because they're bigger. So I'm going to set my timer for 13 minutes and check it, and I'll let you know. Now we will start our chili, and I just want to show you I have already started this hamburger cooking while I was getting this other stuff out. So this is just a pound of hamburger. Use whatever kind you want. Now let's slide back over here. I need 1 green pepper. Where is my knife? I need 1 green pepper. And we just want to dice it. Dice it whatever size you want, but I'm going to dice mine kind of small. Okay, so this is the size I'd want mine right there. So let me chop up the other half. Okay, we will add this to the hamburger over here. Let me stir that in. And it can all cook down at the same time. So even if your hamburger gets done, keep cooking it till your vegetables are done. And we need a small onion. And normally, I have onion already in my fridge, but I am running low and I don't have enough for this recipe. So I'm going to have to get on that. Okay, then we will add these into the pot and we will cook this. Hold on, no, we won't. Hold on. Need a teaspoon of garlic, and I just use the mince that you get in the refrigerator. Well, actually, this is in the produce section. I just eyeball it. Then, okay, we will just cook this around until the vegetables are done, because it looks like the meat, I need to chop it a little bit, but it looks like the meat is, well, there's a couple of places. But anyway, cook this until it's just completely done. Okay, while I started the chili, the muffins got done in 13 minutes. They were not even close to being done. The middle was still running. So I popped them in there another 5 minutes. And you can see the toothpick comes out clean. So my little mini muffins took 18 minutes. Now I'm just going to set them up here, let them cool in the pan, maybe about 10 minutes, then I'm going to take them out. Okay, if I forgot to mute my TV on the last clip, I apologize, because I think I did. You know I've got Criminal Minds on, because that's what I do. So anyway, now we need 1 can of sliced stewed tomatoes, 1 can of green chilies, and none of these are drained. Put the whole thing in there. And 1 of the small cans, the 8-ounce cans of tomato sauce. You're going to stir that around, break your tomatoes up. You can break them up before you put them in here. I've done it that way before on different recipes. But you can do this as well if you got a good strong spatula. Okay, now put your heat on low at this point. Now we're going to add our seasonings, if I can remember what I got out over here. We need 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt. So this is a 1/2 teaspoon. and a half teaspoon of paprika. And then a tablespoon of dried parsley. And a tablespoon of chili powder. And you just need to stir this together, and we're going to put it on low, like I said, and let it simmer for an hour. You can come back over here. Let me check my recipe and see if this is supposed to be covered. Hold on just a minute. No, it is not supposed to be covered. But you don't want it on high because you see there's hardly any liquid to it. So you do want to make sure it's on low. And I really have to watch mine because my stove cooks so hot no matter what you have it turned on because it holds the heat in so long. So we're going to let this go for an hour. And then we're going to start on our quiche. We will go ahead and make this bacon cheddar quiche while the chili's cooking. You need, the recipe calls for 14 slices of bacon. Okay, you're supposed to use a 9-inch pie plate. And you got all these other ingredients. And 14 slices seems like a lot. So I'm just using, and because I'm lazy, this fully cooked bacon that I get from Walmart's. I'm just going to use the whole package. I don't know how many slices there are these days. There's only 10 these days. Used to be 15. I'm almost positive. A couple years ago. But you just need to put it on paper towel line plates and pop it in the microwave. If you're only doing a few, it only takes like 30 seconds, but I'm going to just crisscross the whole pack on here. So I'll just keep checking it in 30-second intervals. We just want it to get crispy. And I will tell you this, if you wait until it looks crispy as you're cooking it, when it cools, it's really going to be crispy because it will cool up, crisp up as it cools. So kind of stop it before you think maybe you need to. So let me pop this in the microwave and we'll start working on the, no, because I don't want y'all to hear the microwave. Never mind. Let me pop it in there and I'll be back. Okay, this was 1:30 and I'm going to let it sit and cool. Because right now you couldn't crumble it. You'd have to cut it. So I'm just going to set this to the side and let it cool. And what we need is 5 eggs. And a can of evaporated milk. But it is the little one. It is the 5-ounce can. Oh, can you see the little 5-ounce can of evaporated milk? And I was going to use fat-free just because to save calories, but they don't make it in this small size. So if you want to use fat-free, you have to buy the regular size can and measure it out. I went for ease, just like with the bacon. I went for ease. I don't know if this is supposed to have salt and pepper or not. I need to go look at the recipe. And there is my alarm for Flair to get up. So hold on. Okay, while this is still trying to cool, I know there's some bacon grease on the bottom, but along the sides, I want to make sure this thing does not stick. Because we're making this in the microwave, and I ain't never done this before. So I don't know how it's going to work. I'm trusting the recipe. Okay, see how when it cools, well, now, I'm so tempted to eat that because that's my favorite kind of bacon, is the chewy kind. I like undercooked bacon. Okay, so I got the bacon crumbled up. Then we need a jar of mushrooms. This is the 4.5-ounce jar. I drained them, but I'm gonna make sure. This is the sliced mushrooms. You can chop them up if you want to. I'm just gonna leave them like they are. I'm just trying to dig them out to keep any extra liquid from coming out if I can. Okay. And hold on, let me wipe my hands off. We need a tablespoon of dried minced onions. I thought that was a pretty interesting choice. And I'm fine with it because it keeps me from having to chop another onion when I don't have enough in the refrigerator. So there's that. And then 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Oh, I looked, the recipe calls for cayenne pepper. No salt and pepper, just cayenne pepper. I ain't using that. So you can use that if you want to. Now this egg and milk mixture, we need to just pour over the top. And I'll tell you, I was worried. I thought it was not going to hold it, but I believe it is. Okay, hold on just a minute. I'm going to push that down in there just to make sure we don't have any pockets, air pockets. Now let me look at the recipe. I forgot how long it's supposed to cook. Hold on. Okay, we are supposed to cook this 6 minutes, stirring twice. So I'm gonna just set it for 2 minutes and stir, 2 minutes and stir, and then 2 minutes it'll be done. And then after that, you're supposed to go another 2 to 3 minutes until the knife comes out clean. So I'll check in with you along the way. Okay, here's the first 2 minutes. It hadn't really changed. It looks a little thicker. I'm gonna let it go another 2 minutes. This is after 4 minutes. Okay, it's getting done. I can see why you have to stir it, because the outside's getting done before the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of mash that up and get some of this raw egg around the outside. I can't hardly see what I'm doing because I can't get up that high, but I think I'm doing good. Now we're going to do it for another 2 minutes. This has been after 6 minutes, and I just want to see how close. It's not, it's pretty set. Let me pull it down and look at it, so I can actually see. That looks set to me. Y'all see it jiggling? It's not sliding out whatsoever. So mine only took 6 minutes. Okay, let me bring you back down here. All right, let's see if we get it to cut or if we just have to scoop it. Okay, you might want to cut with a better knife than a butter knife, because that is. I'm getting 6 servings out of this. You can do 4 to 6. If you want a nice hearty serving, do 4. Oh, I did not cut anything straight. Looky there. So I'm going to let this sit here. This is going to be my breakfast today. And then, look, I got me some new meal prep containers. I wanted different ones, but they didn't have what I wanted. Well, I'm breaking that apart. They didn't have enough of what I wanted, and I wanted to get all the same thing. So these are going to take a little bit more room up in my refrigerator, but I'm just going to have to make do. So here's breakfast this week. My chili's still cooking. That's all I got to do. I mean, our cooking is done now. I'll go over here and I will show you the muffins. They've had time enough to cool off and cut, and I've tasted one. So let's go over here and talk about the muffins, since the chili's cooking anyway. Oh, here are the muffins. Look at this muffin. Look at the texture. There's something, and I just don't understand the properties of protein powder, but it will make a nice, tender baked good. So I cut this one in half, and you can see it is nice. And I tasted the other half of this. Look, you can cut little bitty slices if you want to. You could toast that if you wanted to. But it's good. It's really good. The only thing I would change the next time I make them, and I will make this again. This is good. I've not figured out my macros. I have not put the recipe in for the size that I'm doing. So I don't know how much protein and carbs it is. But it's going to be fine, I'm sure. The only thing I would change next time is I would add more sweetener. It's not as sweet as I would like it to be, so I would probably add another 1/4 cup. I'd probably add a 1/2 cup altogether. I think that's what I would do next time. So anyway, these will keep on the counter. Let me see what that recipe says. Hold on. It says you can keep them room temperature covered for 3 days. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep a couple out. Probably what I'm going to do is just eat a half at a time. I will freeze them. I'm going to wrap them individually and freeze them. And then when I take it out, that'll be 2 servings. So when I take one out, that'll be 2 days worth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one. I'll finish eating this one today. This one. Save it out. Save one more out. Maybe one more. Nope. 3 days, maybe just one more and freeze the rest. So I'll let you know. Okay, the hour's up. You heard it in my intro. So this, last time I made it, I measured it, made 5 cups. And so I had these 2 cup, well, are they 2 cups? No, I've already forgot. They are a cup. Hold on, let me see. Yes, it took me long enough. 2 cups. So I'm going to scoop each one of these half full. And that will be my 1 cup. Okay, here's what we got done. Here's our bacon cheddar quiche that we made in the microwave. There was actually 6 servings, but remember I ate one for breakfast, so it makes 6. And then our no bean chili. They're a little bit heavy-handed cup size, but that's how the it's going to be different because your size of green pepper is not going to be the same every single time. So it's just a heavy cup. And then in my little Christmas dish, I have my 3 servings. The small piece is the rest of today, then a half for tomorrow, and then the next 2 days a half. And then that way the rest of these can go in the freezer and we'll store just perfectly. So that is what I did this week. It is 3 minutes till 9 and I'm done. So even getting through filming my intro, dishing up my chili, and coming over here to film this, it only took me a few minutes. So you can hear my coffee in the background going. That signifies that I'm going to go sit down at my computer and edit this here video. And then I can have the rest of my day to myself. Okay, well, I hope you're having a good weekend. And if you're prepping something, I hope you just get in there and get it done. And have the rest of your day to have fun too. So that's all for me today. And I will see you in my next video.